I think the biggest thing for us was offensively is starts with turnover. We got to take care of the football. I mean, playing Indianapolis last year, had the ball on the 6-yard line with a chance to tie the score at the end of the fourth quarter, throw a pick, and ultimately I lost the ball game. So I mean, we've got to be able to take care of the football offensively. I think that's the biggest thing. I think defensively, it's going to be year 2 in a new system. Our defensive coordinator is the second year. We got 10 of our 11 starters coming back on defense, which is always huge whenever you're still making strides with the new side of the football. And I think the leadership and all the guys that are coming back, yes, you lose a Peyton Chappell who breaks every single school record, and you can't ever replace a guy like that. But I think when you got 10 guys coming back that have played as much snaps as our guys have, I think that's always huge. Throw that into the most kids we've ever had over a summer, and a great spring ball, and for the most part, everybody's healthy right now, knock on wood. I think that's always sets up for a good thing.
Does that take the pressure off you as a coach that now the culture has been set a little bit and it's a lot less of this is not why we do things, this is a lot more how we do things, as far as with the starters coming back, more players coming back, and with that continuity on the defensive side of the ball?
I think one of the biggest things I didn't even realize was how COVID affected us. I don't think any of us really understood in any capacity, but not having that football season fall of 2020, I felt like we were exactly where we wanted to be in order to take the next step. And then all of a sudden you have COVID and staff's moving on and coach players moving on and things just kind of flipping upside down. And I feel like we're getting right back to where we were at that point in time. So I think our guys and the culture and the leadership and everything going on within our football program has put us in a position right now that gives us an opportunity to have a great year. Throw that into the fact that it's always nice when you have 8 home games.
Yep.
That always helps things out drastically as well.
Both of you young men earning all conference honors in 2022. Talked about it with a couple of the other guys here. How do you not get comfortable? What's been the mindset going into 2023?
Just understanding that what made us good last year isn't what's gonna get the job done this year. Like, it was good we went out there and got the honors we did last year. Now none of that matters now. Like, we got to go back and put in twice the amount of work we put in last year to just be half as good as we thought we were last year, just as individual players as well as a team. And just understanding from that point that you never get comfortable, and there's always a opportunity to get better, regardless of where you think you're at. So.
We've talked about it in our room, how success is not a continuum. So we have to keep doing that work that got us here, to keep having that success that we've had in the past. And I think it's really important to not get complacent at all with what we have done and what's brought us here, giving us success.
How do you not get complacent?
By continuing to do the things that have brought you to where you have, that has gotten you to that success.
And what do you personally do to get to that level?
I mean,
I'm pressing now. Come on, give me a little bit more.
I mean, taking every rep you can seriously, whether that's in the weight room or on the field, just, reps on air, getting to exactly what you need to do, get your steps and all the on air stuff that we're doing right now without pads and everything. So I think that's all important.
You two talk about how important it is to have leaders, namely player leadership on a football team, and how that process has gone for you since you came into the program, and obviously where you guys are at now.
Coach Bass talks about it all the time. Like, good teams are coach-led, great teams are player-led, and when you have guys such as Hans and I that can police other guys, which then in turn have other guys police other guys, that then pushes everybody to be better. And just from that standpoint, like, if your best player on your team is the best person on your team, team's going to be really pretty good for the most part. And just understanding that, just pushing everybody to be the best person they can be, and then you being the best person will in turn make you a better
player. I mean, I came in this program 5 years ago now. Yeah, it's my 5th year, so I think it's really come a long way, and I think we're at the best point I've ever seen this program at, just through players policing other players and, Coach Bass not having to do all that, and it's just something special right now.
Yeah, follow-up question for Coach. Do you think that leadership in players, is that taught, or is that a skill that you just have or you don't?
It's funny you say that. It's one of the things I talk about all the time. Leadership is a taught skill, no different than any other skill in the planet. one of the biggest things we talk about all the time when we talk about leadership is what is leadership. I think you look at football and any sport for that matter of fact, especially of physical nature, and I think everybody looks at yelling and screaming and saying things that you shouldn't say to certain people. That's not leadership. That's being a dictator. I think one of the biggest things we talk about all the time with our guys is leadership equals one word. Leadership equals influence. Well, if you're going to be a leader and you're going to have influence over somebody, you got to do two things. One's build a relationship with someone, and the second thing is understanding how to talk to them. And when you do those things, you learn skills to be taught, no different than a doctor learns how to operate on someone. So, I mean, are there things that innately that individuals are going to be better at? Yeah, there are, just by personality traits. But I wholeheartedly believe that leadership is a taught skill, no different than anything else. And that's a good thing about where we're at right now. I feel really good about where our players are at and where our coaches are at and how everyone's progressed from that standpoint.
Coach, you talk about it being a taught skill. Who taught you how to be a leader? Put you on the spot.
No, you're good. I'm very lucky. The people I've worked for and I've played for. I mean, my O-line coach that I had in college, Mike Bloomgren, who's the head coach at Rice. He was been at Stanford. He was been with the Jets. Bart Tatum, who used to be the offensive coordinator at Northwest Missouri State, was the head coach at Missouri Southern, coached at Sam Houston State. Jim Tomsula, who has been an NFL coach forever. That was our defensive coordinator when I was in college playing O-line. And I've been around a lot of really good guys. I think another piece of it is when it comes to leadership is you have to be genuine. I think one of the biggest things that people always laugh when we talk about this stuff is people go, "Oh, do you want to know the questions you're going to get asked?" No, I don't. I don't want to know anything. I just want to answer it because it's about being genuine and being upfront. Genuine and being someone that you are at all times is always huge, and I think that's a big piece of it for myself as well. I am who I am, and I'm going to do it on purpose.
Awesome. Has that translated to you guys as well as you guys have come up in the program, and especially you, Joe, coming from Northwest Missouri State, seeing a little bit of a change and whatnot as well?
Yes, sir. It's definitely had an influence on me. Just understanding that, and then the way he talks about being genuine, how he cares about us as players, goes a long way. Because you won't get the best out of a player if they're not willing to play for you and lay it out there on the line for you. And the way he is, as genuine as he is, a lot of guys feel that way about him, and that we are willing, and we know that he's not necessarily just asking us to go through a brick wall for him, but he'll also run through the brick wall. He'll go first. So that's a good thing.
Thank goodness I have a hard head.
Yeah. Huge one.
Yeah, I think Coach Bass has also taught me a lot. I'm somewhat more of a quieter guy, and I think they've all brought me out of my shell from making me more comfortable and learn how to talk to people like he talked about, and knowing that he would help me as much as I want to help him and what he asked for me.
I think you've been very vocal. I think you're getting you out of your shell just a little bit. So, Coach, done a good job on that.
And then last question for me, guys: what will it take at the end of the season for you guys to say this was a success? What is success to you?
You want it from them or from me or them?
All three, please.
Well, we talk about this all the time, and I think coaches pigeonhole themselves and saying, "Well, I want to finish this record this year." Ours comes back to our mission statement. Our mission statement is pursue excellence with a vengeance. Well, we define excellence as doing something to the best of your ability at all times. So as long as we get to the end of the season, I feel like our guys have done every single thing they could in order for us to be as good as we possibly can. All right, that's what excellence is going to look like. That's what success is going to look like. I don't like sitting here going, "I want to go 11-0." Yeah, everybody wants to go 11-0. Everybody wants to do those things, but for us, it's making sure that we consistently go out there and go after that day in and day out, practice in, game out, whatever it is.
And just to piggyback off that, just understanding that every game is its own entity, and you can't think, "I want to win game 11 and we haven't played game 1 yet." So just understanding that, taking every game, every play, every down, every rep for what it is, and doing your best and pursuing excellence in that rep, in that play, whatever, and being the best you can be. And at the end of however many we take from snap 1 to snap however many we have, being able to look back and say, "I gave everything I had on that rep, on that play, in that game," would be a success.
Another thing we talk about with this is being process driven, not result oriented. I think that's really important to what we're talking about right here, and not worrying about the result and worrying about the process. And what's to come and facing each of those challenges as they do.
Piggyback the last question from me. Talk about the process. Obviously, that's translating not just in football, but just in life. How much of that message are you guys pushing towards the younger guys in the team? That going 11-0 is great, but maybe going 0-11 and learning a lot more will prepare us along the way just for life and becoming better men.
And we keep using the word piggyback, but to piggyback off of what Hans and being and more result, not being more process driven, and just understand, like you said, okay, we may go 0-11. That's nobody wants to do that.
Yep.
But if at the end of the year you can look back and say we got better in every facet of the game that we could have, and we did everything we could have done to the best of our ability, that right there is what we're trying to push to the young guys. Like, okay, like don't play the result of whatever the play was. Okay, you played great technique on the play. You might not have gotten what you wanted out of the play, but the technique was great. You'll be rewarded for that in the back end. That's how we kind of do the work up front, and you'll be rewarded for that.
Awesome.
I don't really have much else to say, Joe. Joe hit it right on the nail. I mean,
it's all good.
I think you did a good job talking about that.
Appreciate you guys.
We're excited.